Hey y'all, imagine this: a kid, barely 13, walking into the fanciest private school in town, his thrift store blazer a size too big, carrying a backpack held together by duct tape, and facing a room full of kids who've had private tutors since they could walk. That's Jamal Carter, stepping into Crestwood Academy, a place where money talks louder than talent, or so they thought. See, Jamal's a scholarship kid, pulled from a public school where the lights flicker more than they shine. And he's about to turn this whole place upside down with nothing but a pencil and a brain that sees numbers like a symphony. It's the first week of school, and Jamal's already got eyes on him, not the good kind. Kids whisper as he passes, their voices dripping with that rich kid smugness. Oh, the charity case. Or, bet he's lost public schools that way. But Jamal? He's too busy noticing the geometry in the school's ivy-covered arches, seeing equations in the way the tiles line up. His mom, Letitia, a night shift nurse who's been skipping meals to pay the internet bill, hugged him tight that morning, saying, "You're meant for this, baby, don't let him tell you different." And he holds on to that, clutching his scholarship letter like it's a ticket to Narnia. Now, enter Professor Edward Langston, the math department's resident gatekeeper. Think old school, tweed jacket. "I went to Yale, and so did my dad" vibes. Langston's been teaching for 40 years, wrote the textbook everyone in the room studied, and he's got no patience for what he calls handout students. To him, Jamal's presence is an insult to Crestwood's legacy, a sign the school's gone soft with all this diversity talk. So, on Wednesday, he decides to put Jamal in his place. He scribbles a differential equation on the board, one so tricky it'd make a college kid sweat. And here's the kicker: he flips a plus sign to a minus, just to trip up the unprepared kid. Smirking, he calls out, "Mr. Carter, surely someone with your unique background can handle this little problem, right?" The room goes dead quiet. Kids like Ethan Prescott, whose dad's a tech mogul, snicker, expecting a train wreck. Jamal just sits there, tapping his pencil, not nervous, but like he's hearing music nobody else can. He stands, walks to the board, and says, calm as you please, "Professor, there's a problem here. That minus sign in the third line? It should be a plus. Otherwise, the whole thing falls apart, leads to a divergent series that doesn't match the boundary conditions." The class gasps. Ethan's jaw drops. Langston's face goes red, like he swallowed a lemon. "You're mistaken, Mr. Carter," he snaps. "This is advanced math, not your library YouTube tutorials." But Jamal just smiles, not cocky, but like he's about to drop a mic, and says, "Mind if I show you, sir?" He grabs the chalk and starts writing, his strokes smooth, like he's painting a picture. He doesn't just fix the error, he rewrites the equation 3 ways, tossing in a trick he calls the ripple method, something he cooked up while solving problems on napkins at his mom's diner. The board fills with math so elegant it's like poetry, and even kids who hate numbers are leaning forward, mesmerized. Langston's frozen, watching his trap blow up in his face. When Jamal steps back, he says, "With the right sign, it's clean C. Converges perfectly." The room's so silent you can hear the clock tick. Then Mia Chun, the class brainiac, starts clapping, and soon half the room's with her, even if Ethan's still sulking. That moment flips everything. Langston's forced to face his own bias. He wanted to humiliate a kid he assumed didn't belong, but Jamal's brilliance just burned through his prejudice like sunlight through fog. After class, he pulls Jamal aside, voice tight, and says, "I misjudged you, Mr. Carter. That ripple method, it's new. Where'd you learn it?" Jamal shrugs. "Made it up, sir. Saw a pattern while working late at the library." Langston's world tilts. He spent decades gatekeeping, thinking genius needs a trust fund or a fancy tutor. But this kid, who learned calculus by candlelight when the power got cut, just schooled him. Fast forward 6 weeks, and Jamal's not just surviving Crestwood, he's rewriting its history. Langston, now his biggest fan, picks him for the National Math Olympiad, passing over Ethan, who's been groomed for it since birth. Training's brutal, 6 hours a day, problems that'd make your head spin, but Jamal eats it up, grinning like it's a game. His mom, Letitia, trades shifts to be there when he competes, her scrub still on, pride in her eyes brighter than any medal. At the Olympiad, Jamal faces 300 of the country's best, and problem 5, a beast tied to an unsolved math mystery, has everyone stumped. Except Jamal. He doesn't solve it completely, But his partial proof, blending number theory and geometry, is so clever the judges call it graduate-level genius. When they announce him as the first perfect scorer in Olympiad history, the crowd roars, Letitia sobs, and Langston stoic. Old-school Langston has tears streaming down his face. Picture this final scene. Jamal on a balcony overlooking DC, gold medal around his neck, Langston beside him. The professor says, "I was wrong about you." Jamal thought brilliance needed a pedigree. Jamal just smiles. "You changed, professor." That's harder than any equation. They laugh. Two minds connected by numbers, not divided by circumstance. Back inside, Letitia's telling anyone who'll listen about her boy, while Ethan, humbled but growing, offers a quiet, "Nice job, man." Crestwood's launching the Jamal Carter Math Fund to help kids like him, and colleges like MIT are knocking with full rides. Here's the thing. Y'all, Jamal's story isn't just about math. It's about what happens when we stop judging people by where they're from and start seeing what they can do. So, tell me in the comments, have you ever been underestimated like Jamal, or seen someone prove the doubters wrong? Share your story, hit that like button, and let's talk about what fairness really looks like in a world quick to judge. Subscribe if you believe talent can come from anywhere, because it does.